Have you ever stopped to think that maybe nothing that happened in your life was by chance? Nothing you went through was meaningless. Every moment, good or difficult, every person who crossed your path had a purpose, even if you can't see it now. The truth is that life has a wisdom that goes beyond what our minds understand. Sometimes it takes away what gives you security to show you what truly has value. At other times, she makes everything take a little longer, just to protect you from something you weren't yet prepared for. The philosopher William James said that the best defense against pain is the will to act. And perhaps that's why, with time, you realize that nothing was a loss. It was a learning experience. Everything that happened was preparing you for the present. Life never gets things wrong. Every event brings a lesson. And when you begin to see that, what once made you fall starts to make you stronger. This video talks about that, understanding that destiny is not luck or chance, but a construction. Nothing was without reason. Not the falls, not the waiting, not the fact that you are listening to these words right now. Write in the comments, I trust, I act. Because that's how life changes, when you choose to trust, even without understanding everything. Now, let's move on to our lessons. 1. How can you keep believing when everything seems to be going wrong? The first step is understanding that nothing happens by chance. Trusting isn't about crossing your arms and waiting. It's about continuing to walk even when you can't see the whole ground. It's about taking a deep breath when everything seems chaotic and still telling yourself, something is falling into place, even if I can't see it yet. But the mind wants guarantees. It wants to know when things will work out. It wants to control time. It wants to predict the outcome. And when it doesn't find answers, it despairs, invents stories, relives old fears, and calls that thinking. But that's not clear thinking. It's fear trying to take control of your life. Epictetus said, if you want to grow, accept feeling confused and lost for a while. Because it is precisely in that interval, when nothing seems to make sense, that life begins to adjust from within. From the outside, everything may seem still, but inside roots are taking hold, directions are being defined, and the ground is being prepared for the next step. Calmness doesn't appear when everything goes right. It's born when you stop fighting what you can't change. Think about it. How much time have you wasted trying to fix what wasn't your responsibility? How much energy was spent on pointless arguments, on anticipatory worries, on fear of the future? Confidence begins when you learn to put your energy into what you can do and let go of the rest. Imagine yourself in a calm river. If you try to swim against the current, you'll get tired. But if you relax your body, attentively and without fear, you realize that the water itself carries you. That's what trust is. It's not giving up swimming, it's learning to move with the right flow. Trust isn't a silly feeling, it's an act of courage. It's about deciding to act attentively, even without knowing what will happen. It's about moving forward, keeping the momentum going. It's about continuing to plant the seeds, even without knowing when the fruits will grow. And it is precisely this faith that acts, and not just waits, that transforms destiny into a true path. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote about this, and his phrase shows what Stoicism has always wanted to teach. When we trust, we simplify, and everything that is simple begins to flow naturally. What suffocates you is not life, but the excess of resistance within you. The mind that tries to predict every step becomes too heavy for the present moment, and the present moment is the only place where balance exists. When you learn to trust, fear loses control because it no longer dictates the pace of your journey. Haste gives way to patience, anxiety transforms into presence, and a new strength begins to grow, not an impulsive strength, but a firm and tranquil one, like someone who has learned to walk with time, not against it. Trust is about continuing to walk, even when the horizon is covered in clouds. It's accepting that what you can't control may, in fact, be leading you exactly where you need to be, even if it still hurts, even if it seems confusing. Life almost never shows the whole map, but it always delivers the next direction, the right step for now. So when everything seems uncertain, don't turn back. Take a deep breath, adjust your pace, do what is within your reach, and trust in what time is still preparing. Life never gets its destiny wrong. If something has come to you, it came for a reason. It came because it's the exact part of the path you need to follow to become who you truly are. 2. Life gives back exactly what you carry in your heart and mind. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns keep returning? People who hurt you in the same way, situations that tire you, different challenges that bring the same feeling of emptiness? None of this is a coincidence. Before being a fact, life is a vibration. You don't attract what you say you want, but what you truly feel and hold within yourself. If the desire comes with fear, what vibrates is lack. If the request comes with comparison, the energy is neediness. And the result is not punishment, it's coherence. Epictetus said that it's not things that hurt us but the way we see them. It is this vision, this intimate opinion that shapes your energy, your behavior, and your choices. Think of it like a lens. If it's dirty with anxiety, envy, or haste, the world will seem confusing and ugly. But if you clean that lens, change the focus, and adjust your perspective, the scenery may remain the same, but the meaning changes completely. The human mind works like a living filter. Everything you believe, it tries to prove is true. If you wake up thinking, nothing works out for me, your brain will look for reasons to confirm it. But if you start the day saying, today I can create something good, it will look for ways to make it real. This is biology, not magic. And little by little, this silent process builds your destiny, one thought at a time. There's an old Sufi story. A fly and a bee cross the same garden. The fly only finds dirt. The bee only sees flowers. The garden is the same. The difference lies in what each seeks. Life is the same. It shows you what you're used to seeing. Those who focus on what's lacking find emptiness. Those who focus on what they can create find abundance. But changing that perspective requires practice. It's not about positive thinking. It's about training the mind to see clearly. It's about choosing what you will nourish within yourself. When you spend your day reinforcing what you don't have, comparing what others have achieved and you haven't, you're training your mind to function in scarcity. This energy puts you in survival mode, making you act with fear, haste, and impulsiveness. But when you start living with presence, focusing on what you can already do now, your energy changes. You stop just asking and start creating. You stop waiting and start building. And that's when life begins to respond. Not because the world has changed, but because you've changed the tone with which you speak to it. Montaigne said that habit is the greatest tyrant of humanity. Therefore, all the energy you repeat, whether confidence or fear, ends up guiding the course of your own life. Every time you choose to remain calm instead of getting angry, to focus instead of doubting, and to be grateful instead of comparing yourself to others, you show the universe and yourself that you are ready to grow and transform. The energy you transmit never deceives. It's how the world understands what you truly believe you deserve. So instead of repeating that nothing works out for you, say and feel, I am learning to create what I deserve, and prove it with attitude, with firm actions, and with truth. When you change what you feel inside, life notices and responds. Everything that vibrates similarly attracts itself. People, opportunities, paths, and what doesn't match your new way simply moves away. This isn't losing, it's clearing out what no longer serves you. Understanding the type of energy you radiate is the first step to becoming the creator of your own life. After that, you no longer wait for things to happen, you start making them happen. If this message resonated with you, say with intention, today I change my energy. When you feel abundance, the universe understands and sends it back in the same vibration. 3. Patience is learning to trust in the invisible work of life. There are days when everything seems to stop. You try, you persist, you do your best, and yet nothing moves forward. It's as if time has stopped and life has left you behind somewhere along the way. But listen carefully. You are not standing still. You are being shaped. Stoicism teaches that there are no useless moments, only preparatory phases. Silence is also part of the process. Marcus Aurelius wrote, accept what comes without pride. Let go of what departs without attachment. This is true wisdom in the face of time, allowing each instant to fulfill its role without haste and without fighting against it. Sometimes what seems like a delay is simply life strengthening you to sustain what is to come. Think of the seasons. Without winter, spring would not bloom. And you, like everything in nature, also have your cycles. There are moments in life that teach you to let go, others that show you how to be strong. Some ask you to be silent, others push you to act. But all, without exception, have a greater meaning. The hasty mind wants to understand everything now, wants to see the result quickly, wants to skip the process. But destiny has its own way of building things, and sometimes what seems to take time is, in fact, protection. What seems empty is a foundation being built from within. Khalil Gibran said, "The seed dreams of the light, but must learn to love the darkness in which it grows." It is in this darkness where no one sees you, where everything seems still, that your growth is deepest. Stop for a moment and think, how many times have you felt left out when in reality you were being prepared? How many times have you complained about the wait without realizing that it was what was strengthening you for what came next? Life has times for harvesting, but it also has times for building. And those who don't respect the time for building end up erecting walls that crumble at the first sign of trouble. So if today it seems like nothing is happening, it's not time to give up. It's time to believe. True progress doesn't always make noise. Sometimes what you call a pause is just the earth preparing itself before the seed sprouts. Stoicism teaches us that nature is never wrong about time. When something hasn't yet blossomed, it's because the soil is being prepared. When you understand this, haste turns into calm, uncertainty turns into confidence, and waiting becomes a force that acts in silence. Therefore, instead of asking life to rush by, learn to walk at its pace. See silence as part of the journey. Trust in the pause as part of the answer. Time is not against you, it's on your side, silently adjusting what still needs to grow. And when that time comes, you will understand. Nothing was standing still. You were being formed. If this message touched you, write in the comments with intention. I trust the timing of my life. For, when one door closes, another opens. Two bodies cannot occupy the same space. We learn this in school, but almost no one realizes that the same applies to the heart. Nothing new can enter if the old is still occupying space. No new beginning flourishes if the previous one has not yet ended. Some things leave your life not because they were bad, but because they have already fulfilled the role they needed to fulfill. But the clinging mind doesn't understand. It tries to hold on to what is leaving, as if the world were making a mistake, as if losing was something unfair. But for life, loss is not punishment, it is direction. Epictetus said, "Don't wish for everything to happen your way, wish for it to happen as it should happen, and thus you will have peace." These words don't speak of giving up, they speak of freedom. Because what goes away often makes room for what is true to arrive. The problem is that, for the ego, losing seems like dying a little. And in a way, that's exactly it. It's the end of an old part, so that a new, wiser part can be born. Think of a tree in autumn. The leaves don't fall because they failed, they fall because the cycle has changed. If the tree tried to hold on to what has already dried, it would suffocate its own branches and prevent spring from blooming. You are like that too. There are times when life takes away what you insist on keeping, not out of cruelty, but out of love for your growth. Many of the losses you still lament today were in fact liberations in disguise. You lost a relationship that drained you. You lost a job that diminished you. You lost a version of yourself that no longer fit within who you are becoming. And it was in this apparent emptiness that you found a new strength. The strength to start over without guarantees and to rebuild yourself with truth. Clarissa Pinkola Estes wrote that every time you lose something, it's because a new part of you is being called to be born. And that's true. Loss is not the end, it's the beginning of something different. It forces you to take a deep breath and make space within yourself, because while you try to hastily fill the void, what is truly important is still being prepared. You can cry, withdraw, remain silent. That's part of being human. But understand, life never leaves a void by mistake. It removes what hinders, cuts away what's superfluous, and with precise care, puts you back on the right path. Those who learn to respect this movement discover a profound maturity, that of trusting both what leaves and what arrives. Loss is like a filter. It separates what was fleeting from what is true. And when you begin to see things this way, you understand that what left didn't take anything from you. It only made room for what better suits who you are becoming. So, the next time something leaves your life, don't rush to fill the void. Wait, breathe, observe. Perhaps what now hurts silently is precisely where something new is about to bloom. And when it sprouts, you will understand. Loss was never the end. It was the necessary adjustment so that something greater could arrive. 5. History only stops repeating itself when you grow on the inside. Life tries to teach you all the time, but it doesn't raise its voice. It repeats itself. When you ignore the first lesson, it comes back again. Sometimes with a different face, a different place, a different situation, but with the same kind of hidden root. You get close again to someone who tires you. You postpone once more what you know you need to do. You feel the same weight in situations you thought you had overcome. This is not bad luck or punishment. It's a call to see deeper. Marcus Aurelius said that the soul takes on the tone of the thoughts it harbors, and that's exactly what happens to us. If you continue thinking the same way, acting the same way, and avoiding the same discomforts, the universe will always give you the same result. Until you change the way you position yourself in the world, life will continue to paint the same picture before you. Imagine that life is like a river. If you always jump at the same bend, you will be carried away by the same current. But if you change the point where you enter and observe the flow before diving in, the path changes completely. That's how consciousness works. It doesn't dry up the river. It teaches you to swim in a different way. Repetitions are hidden warnings. They are like small lights blinking in the darkness saying, there's still something here you need to understand. Ignoring these signs is like trying to turn off an alarm by simply covering your ears. The sound may seem weaker, but the problem remains. Nietzsche said that everything done out of love transcends good and evil, and that is a profound truth. The cycles that return aren't trying to hurt you, they're trying to help you grow. They are life's own way of showing you enough love to give you another chance to act with awareness and clarity. Think of a blacksmith working with metal. He hammers, adjusts, corrects, and only stops when the piece takes the right shape. Life is the same. It repeats people, situations, and challenges until your inner strength is able to sustain the next step. What bothers you today is the same thing that tomorrow will show you what still needs to be improved within you. This is where many get lost. They try to escape repetition. They change scenery, friends, cities, but they don't change their way of seeing things. And wherever they go, the same patterns follow them, because the common thread in everything is you, your way of reacting, thinking, and resisting learning. Repetition only disappears when you truly understand what it came to teach you. When you stop blaming others and start seeing your own reflection in situations, something inside you changes. You realize that life isn't attacking you, it's trying to put you on the right path, showing you what still needs to grow within you. So, stop for a moment and observe what keeps repeating itself. What attitudes keep coming back disguised as new problems? And more importantly, who do you need to become so that this doesn't have to happen anymore? The universe never gives up on teaching you, but it changes its tone when it realizes you've understood the lesson. When the learning is absorbed, the cycle ends. And when you become more conscious, life itself understands. Now it's ready for something different. At that moment, the pain that once weighed you down becomes direction. The detours cease to seem like punishment and become the path itself, because nothing, absolutely nothing, repeats itself by chance. 6. Nothing teaches you as much as that which tried to destroy you. No one chooses to suffer, but it is almost always pain that reveals what comfort has hidden for a long time. Life has a strange yet intelligent way of shaping us. It doesn't speak softly, it shakes us strongly. And when everything seems to crumble, it's not punishment. It's a sign to rebuild the parts of yourself that can no longer bear the weight of your own growth. Difficulties don't appear by chance, they arrive with a purpose. Marcus Aurelius said that what blocks the path ends up becoming the path itself. This isn't just a pretty phrase for decoration, it's a real warning. What seems like a huge problem today might be remembered tomorrow as the moment you truly woke up. Think of a sword being forged. The metal only becomes strong and sharp after being passed through fire and hammered repeatedly. If the blacksmith avoided the heat, the blade would never have strength or cutting ability. It's the same with you. Every loss, rejection, delay, and mistake is the fire that strips away the excess and reveals the steel of your essence. Life isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to make you stronger, removing what's still weak in you. But the hasty mind doesn't understand this. It thinks pain is a sign of error, reacts without thinking, rebels, creates stories, and tries to hide everything with distractions, excuses, and comparisons. But the Stoic doesn't try to run away. He seeks clarity. He understands that pain is a special kind of teacher. So when suffering appears, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he asks, "What do I need to learn from this?" This simple change of question changes everything. Pain ceases to be an enemy and becomes a classroom of self-knowledge. You begin to realize that life doesn't want to break you. It wants to awaken you, making you see what you didn't see before, your automatic reactions, your attachments, your illusions of control. Haruki Murakami said that when you come out of the storm, you are no longer the same person who went in. That is the meaning of the storm. Perhaps this is one of the greatest truths anyone can understand. Pain is not punishment, it's cleansing. It removes what is false to make room for what is true. Think of the times when a loss forced you to reinvent yourself or when a mistake made you grow. Suffering is not the end. It's the test that reveals your foundation. Those who go through it consciously gain something that no one can take away: self-knowledge, and this clarity is the beginning of all freedom. Most people run from discomfort, but the Stoic decides to face it intentionally. Accepting is not giving up, it's changing the focus. It's stopping fighting against what cannot be changed and putting energy into what depends on you, your attitude, your discipline, and your calm in the face of chaos. When life challenges you, don't ask when it will end. Ask who you will be after it's all over. Pain may go away, but what you learn from it remains stored within you as a new and firm foundation. When suffering is understood, it transforms into light within the mind. And that light is the beginning of all wisdom. So, the next time difficulty knocks on your door, don't run from it. Take a deep breath, look it in the eye and say, "I know you came to train me because nothing happens without a reason. But there's something important to understand." If you've been trying for a long time to step out of your comfort zone and learn more, but haven't been able to, there might be something you're not aware of. I know what it might be. Anxiety. Anxiety is like a snake that creeps up silently and affects you without you even realizing it. It leaves you feeling unwell for days, months, and even years. Living like this is like being sick all the time. But I know a solution. Stoic philosophers, along with modern psychology, have a way to help you get rid of it. I managed to cure myself of this anxiety. I made a video explaining how you can get rid of this problem, and it's in the first comment. Click the link in the first comment and start healing yourself from this feeling of anxiety. 7. Failure is not a punishment. It is a mirror that shows what is hidden. We've all been through moments like this. A plan that seemed perfect collapses. A choice ends in a dead end. A huge effort seems to vanish in seconds. You look at what's left and feel that bitter emptiness, thinking you failed. But failure, however painful, is never the end. It reveals what needs to be seen. Marcus Aurelius said that the Stoic understands. Failure is not a sentence, it's a way of seeing what still needs to be discovered. When everything spirals out of control, that's when the essentials emerge. What is true remains standing, and what was an illusion crumbles. Imagine a bridge that needs to support weight. While the path is light, you believe it is strong, but just add more weight and you'll see where the cracks are. Failure is that test of the soul's strength. It shows you where you built with faith and where you were still relying on fear, vanity, or appearances. Most try to hide the fall, pretend nothing happened, and start over quickly, like someone sweeping up the pieces without understanding what broke. But the Stoic observes. He knows that falling is not being humiliated, it is being exposed. Failure is a flame that burns away what is false and illuminates what is true, your will, your clarity, and your strength. The writer Elizabeth Gilbert said that failing at something you love can be the quickest way to remember why you started. And that's what almost no one understands. Failure doesn't destroy, it cleanses. It changes what you think is important, shows you who is truly on your side, what you accepted out of fear, and what you need to leave behind if you want to grow. It makes you go back to the beginning. Remember why you started before getting lost in expectations. Remember, nobody matures when everything is going well. We mature when we need to adjust. When everything is going right, it's easy to get distracted. But when something crumbles, you are forced to truly face yourself. It is in this uncomfortable yet sincere gaze that transformation happens. Failure is not the end of the road, it's a change of course. It's life taking you down a path that pride or haste wouldn't let you see on your own. And if you have the courage to accept this turnaround with humility, you will see that nothing was wasted. What fell needed to fall so that something new could be born. So the next time something goes wrong, don't feel ashamed. Observe, understand, and courageously ask, what is this fall trying to show me that I didn't want to see? Because in the end, true failure isn't in falling, but in getting up without learning anything. A repeated mistake becomes prison, but an understood mistake becomes wisdom. And when you understand the lesson, the ground that knocked you down becomes the same ground that now sustains you. 8. Every choice you make opens a new path in your story. Have you ever noticed that the most significant moments of your life didn't seem so big when they happened? Sometimes it was a simple decision, a quick conversation, a yes or a no said without much thought. And only years later did you realize that's when everything started to change. Life works like that in the details. While you wait for the show to begin, it works silently behind the scenes. Destiny doesn't announce its actions. It's shaped by the things you do every day. Every word you say, every thought you choose to hold, and every attitude you have even when no one is watching, all of that builds the road you will later follow. The Stoics already knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote that what is within your power are your opinions, your intentions, your desires, and your actions. That's what shapes your life. You don't have control over the world, but you can choose how you walk through it. Imagine life as a path of wet sand. With each step you leave a mark, and sooner or later you will have to walk again where you have already walked. If you tread carefully, the path remains firm. If you tread carelessly, the mark itself can become a trap. Many people live on autopilot. They do the same things, complain about the same pains, blame the past, and expect change without changing anything. But life doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you do. Want more peace? Practice silence. Want more clarity? Start putting things in order. Want more strength? Act even when afraid. The distracted mind seeks the easiest path. The awakened mind chooses to act with truth. Therefore, a simple act of discipline is worth more to your destiny than 1,000 intentions that remain only in thought. Every time you do what is right, even when tired, it's as if you're saying to the universe, I am ready for something greater. And the universe listens. Stoic philosophy isn't about being perfect, but about being present. It's not about controlling everything that happens, but about learning to respond with wisdom. So stop for a moment and ask yourself, what do I do every day without realizing it? Does this habit bring me closer to or further away from the life I want? The truth is clear. You are not what you wish to be. You are what you repeatedly become. Twyla Tharp said that daily routine is the fertile ground where excellence grows. That's where everything starts to change. When you understand the power of small actions and realize that nothing in life is neutral. Every thought is a vote for the person you are becoming. Every gesture is a seed you sow in the field of your destiny. When you understand this, the world changes because you stop being led and start guiding your own path. Realizing this power is what allows you to act differently, create new marks in this wet sand, and intentionally build the road that will sustain your future. Destiny is not a destination, it's the ground you create, step by step, with the choices you make today. 9. Pain only transforms when you face it head-on. There are pains that don't disappear simply with time. They don't dissolve in silence, nor do they vanish when you try to ignore them. On the contrary, the more you try to run away, the more they grow inside, like something kept in a dark room you'd rather never open. The truth is simple, and at the same time profound. Pain only transforms when you have the courage to face it. Running away doesn't heal. Postponing doesn't solve anything. Distracting yourself doesn't liberate you. What heals is looking. Often, we carry old pains without realizing it. A word spoken at the wrong time, an unexpected abandonment, a loss we didn't know how to bear. All of this accumulates. The mind tries to protect it, pushing it away. The body tries to move on, but the soul feels it. And when the soul feels, it doesn't forget. It simply holds on, waiting for the day when you will finally have the strength to go back there and give a different destiny to what hurt you. The Stoics didn't teach us to run away from pain. They taught something more courageous, to embrace what happened, to understand what life was trying to show us, and to act accordingly. Marcus Aurelius said that what hurts us can teach us to be better if we are willing to learn. It's not about getting used to suffering, but about not wasting what the experience reveals. Ask yourself honestly, what have you been running from? What are you trying not to feel? What are you avoiding thinking about so you don't have to relive it? Pain is only heavy when carried alone and in the dark. When placed in the light, it loses the frightening shape that the imagination created. The fear of pain is often greater than the pain itself. Looking pain in the face doesn't mean wallowing in it. It means observing it clearly, naming what you feel, understanding why, and above all, allowing yourself to feel without judging yourself. Judgment is what transforms suffering into a prison. When you blame yourself for feeling pain, you close all doors to healing. When you accept that it hurt, you open space to rebuild. Breathing is also part of it. Breathe before trying to understand. Breathe before reacting. Breathe to remember that the pain is passing through you, but it is not you. There is something within you that observes, that feels, that embraces. This observer is the strongest part of your consciousness. It is there that your stability grows. There are pains that weren't meant to destroy, they were meant to mature. They are like the fire that molds steel. The strength of the sword doesn't come from the metal itself, but from the heat and blows it endures during forging. Your strength is also being formed in this way, not to harden you and make you cold, but to make you someone who knows who they are, someone who knows what matters, someone who no longer lives at the mercy of fear. Perhaps your pain today is asking to be heard. Perhaps it's a warning that something inside you is ready to change. Perhaps what was once a wound can now become a portal to a more whole version of who you are. Don't rush this process. Don't force yourself to understand everything at once. Just allow yourself to feel attentively. When you face pain head-on, it begins to lose the power it had over you. It becomes memory, wisdom, foundation. You stop being hurt by the same story repeatedly. Pain transforms into the ground on which you begin to walk with greater awareness. Close your eyes for a moment and say sincerely, I'm ready to feel what I need to feel. I'm not running away anymore. This is the first step in the healing process, and you've already started walking. 10. Silence reveals answers that noise hides. We live in a world that constantly pushes us out of ourselves. Voices, opinions, notifications, comparisons, invented urgencies, expectations that grow like constant noise within our minds. When everything is noisy, we can't feel, think, or perceive clearly. It's like trying to hear a soft song amidst a shouting crowd. Nothing is revealed, nothing is organized, everything becomes confused. Therefore, silence is not absence, silence is direction. Silence is the space where things settle. It is there that the mind begins to show what truly matters, what really hurts, what needs to be released, and what needs to be strengthened. While we are always reacting, responding, running, trying to keep up with the speed of the world, we fail to listen to our inner life. And it is this inner life that sustains everything. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the mind needs to return to itself frequently, for it is within it that the source of true balance lies. But why is it so difficult to be silent? Because noise distracts. Noise occupies space. Noise numbs what we feel. Noise prevents us from looking at what is demanding attention within us. Sometimes we are afraid of being alone, not because solitude hurts, but because in solitude there is nowhere to hide what we truly feel. In silence, the heart speaks. And when it speaks, it asks for truth. Silence doesn't require isolation from the world, it requires presence. You can be in the middle of a crowded street and still be silent inside. It's an internal movement. It's choosing not to react immediately. It's breathing before responding. It's listening before concluding. It's observing before judging. It's being fully present in the moment without being swept away by the rush of the mind. The Stoics practiced silence as a way to sharpen their conscience. Seneca said that nothing is more valuable than learning to converse with oneself, because it is through this silent conversation that you understand what moves you, what weighs you down, what prevents you from moving forward. Silence is a mirror. It reflects your truth unfiltered. And this truth seen up close can set you free. Imagine the sea after a storm. During the chaos, the waves crash, the water churns, nothing is clear. But then, when the sea calms, it's possible to see the bottom again. The mind is like that. Amidst the noise, everything seems urgent, serious, too intense. But when calm arrives, you realize that many of those worries were just dust suspended on the water. Practice being silent for a little while every day. Turn off your cell phone before bed. Have a coffee while looking out the window. Go for a walk without headphones. Take 3 deep breaths before making a decision. Write down what you feel without worrying about sounding strong. In silence, the heart reveals what it has been trying to say for a long time. Silence is not escape. It is return. I'll get back to you. For your information, please. For your wisdom. The answer you're looking for might not be right outside your eyes. Perhaps she was always there, waiting for you to be quiet enough to hear her. Close your eyes now. Breathe slowly. Feel your body. Feel the heart. And realize this. What you've always known is beginning to emerge. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is the voice of your soul. 11. Discipline is the bridge between what you dream and what you live. We all carry dreams. Silent desires that are born like a calling within our hearts. Images of who we could be, what we could build, the kind of life we would like to touch with our own hands. But between that dream and reality, there is a distance, a bridge, and that bridge has a name: discipline. Many people believe that life changes in the moment of inspiration, when we feel motivated or when a message touches us deeply. But the truth is that motivation is only the first breath. It warms, awakens, ignites a small flame. However, this flame quickly goes out if there is nothing to sustain it. That's where discipline comes in. It is the silent fuel that keeps the fire alive when enthusiasm fades. Marcus Aurelius said that what defines a man is not what he feels, but what he does repeatedly. Discipline is a form of love for who you want to become. Because when you choose to do what needs to be done, even when tired, even when unwilling, even when uncertain, you are taking care of your future. You are saying to yourself, I deserve the result I am building. An undisciplined mind lives in waves. One day it wants everything. The next day, it wants nothing. It's a mind that lets itself be carried away by the emotional climate, by distractions, by the noise of the world. Discipline is what anchors it. It brings firmness. It creates structure. It organizes chaos. It transforms intention into transformation. Think of a tree. No one sees its growth immediately. But every day it drinks water, receives light, sustains its trunk and roots. The growth is discreet, silent, constant. Discipline is this invisible movement. While others look at the results, discipline works in the depths of the soul, in routine, in small choices, in repeated gestures. Life doesn't respond to what you expect. It responds to what you endure. It's not difficult to dream. What's difficult is staying true to the dream when no one is watching. What's difficult is waking up early when your body begs for 5 more minutes. What's difficult is studying when pleasure calls. What's difficult is working on what matters when it's easier to get distracted. But it is precisely in these moments that destiny is shaped. Discipline is not rigidity. It is not punishment. It is not imprisonment. Discipline is freedom, because when you control your actions, you no longer depend on mood, impulse, or chance. You become someone you can trust, even to yourself. And that is the foundation of true self-esteem. Keep the promise you make to yourself. Start small, but start every day. 10 minutes of reading, 15-minute workout, 20 minutes of study, 5 minutes of silence. It doesn't matter the size. What matters is consistency. Consistency is a daily vow, and a daily vow changes an entire life. Seneca said, Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. This means that what you call destiny is often just accumulated discipline. Everything you desire is closer than you imagine, but it won't arrive on its own. It will arrive because you built the path with patience, presence, and effort. Discipline is the bridge between your present and your future, between who you are and who you can be, between the life you live and the life you dream of. If you know how to cross it, one step a day, you will get there. Undoubtedly, it's no coincidence. No miracles allowed, that's true. With force, with maturity. Discipline is love proven in practice, and it is she who transforms dreams into reality. 12. Keep walking, and the path will show you why. What do you do when life loses its sparkle? When everything seems the same and even what once made you happy no longer touches your heart? That's when many give up, but it's also when true meaning begins to emerge. The purpose of life isn't something you find all at once. It's formed as you live, in simple gestures, sincere choices, and small actions you repeat every day. Most of the time, meaning seems to disappear because you try to find it only in the results and not in the journey. Viktor Frankl, who survived a concentration camp, wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." And that's it. What destroys you is not the weight of life, but living without a reason to carry it. Sometimes meaning fades because you've stopped caring about what truly matters. You distance yourself from people, get caught up in empty goals, compare yourself too much. But the purpose isn't in conquering the world, it's in remaining whole inside, even when the world tries to break you. The writer Anne Lamott said, "Almost everything starts working again if you switch off for a few minutes, including yourself." And perhaps that's what's missing, disconnecting a little from the noise, taking a deep breath and reconnecting with what is essential. Want to rediscover the meaning of life? Start doing good again, even if no one sees it. Start dedicating yourself again, even without applause. Start giving thanks again, even on hard days. Meaning is hidden in the small actions that keep the soul awake. Because, in the end, purpose is not something you find, it's something you build. It is born every time you decide to continue with faith, act with presence, and maintain sweetness, even when life gets difficult. One day, when you look back, you'll realize the meaning never went away. You just needed to pause to feel it again. Every person who passed through your life, every pain you faced, every decision that seemed small, all of that was helping to shape who you needed to become. Nothing happens by mistake. Not the falls, not the detours, not this moment when you still don't understand why. And that's precisely where faith lives, in moving forward, even without having all the answers. If this message touched you, like, share, and subscribe.